So today, guys, what we're doing is we're going to be crocheting dreadlocks together. What I have here are some older dreads that I did have in my hair. Essentially what we're going to be needing is going to be a rat tail comb, as you see right here. I apologize about the oil in my hand. I also would recommend using castor oil, darker, my preference. It's actually so you don't actually tear the hair or rip any of it out as you're trying to comb some of it out and make it usable for crocheting. On the side here I do have some of our crocheting tools, our crochet needles at different size. You can get these at hair stores, any of the salons, 0.5 all the way to 1. Depending on how tight the hair is, it can determine which one that you would actually need, but you'll be the judge. Now, mind you, I am not a professional and I am not a perfectionist, but I am somebody that is a normal guy who needs the same things done and doesn't want to pay $300+ for the same thing that I could also do myself. Call me cheap. So essentially what we'll be doing is first, now I've already done some of the process of combing some of this out, so I'm not going to sit here and do this all over again. But in essence, all we're going to be doing is taking one of the 0.5, 0.7, or 0.1s and placing the actual hair that's loose now up against another clump of hair that's loose from another dreadlock. So in reality, getting them as tightly together as possible is probably going to be your best bet. Basically, initially, like creating that dreadlock. As you see, this would just be kind of a start for it. So all you're going to be really doing is grabbing one of these, putting that dreadlock from behind, and literally taking that needle that has a hook on it, going all the way through and pulling the other dread through. And you'll just keep repeating the process until it creates a new knot of both sets of hair. So if you guys kind of want to see how this operates, pardon my angle is a little bit different from how I usually do this, but you're just going to be doing one of these motions. Now, I'm not anybody that knits or anything of the sort, but I would assume that this is kind of a little bit similar. All you're doing is trying to get that hair to go together. Now, like I said, I'm not a professional here, but you can kind of already tell just by me doing that little bit of work. Didn't even do much at all, but the hair is already starting to get formed together. So it's really about wrapping that hair into each other, twisting it together, and then bringing it through. Now, as you tell with this one right here, I left the other side alone as far as pulling that hair out and undoing some of that dread, so I can have it be the end of this new form dread, if you kind of get the idea. Now you will hear some tearing every once in a while of that hair going through, but as you see, it's already starting to form here. It's actually a really easy process. You're just grabbing the hair from another one and pulling it right back through the other dread. Or lock, depending on what you want to call it. I'm not politically correct at all. And you can also rotate it as you're doing it to kind of get that effect all the way around. That is also another helpful tip that I kind of am learning on my own. Funny enough, I actually learned this whole process on my own as well. Just looking at other people, crochet hair, didn't look that complicated, gave it a shot. lo and behold. You see what I'm saying? Now obviously the more that you do this, you know, you'll start getting tighter and tighter of knots. If you look at people with Congo knots, you know, the thicker, you know, set of dreads that kind of get, you know, Congo together, for a lack of better words, that is how this is happening. You know, you're creating larger sets of hair that are interwoven. Now it does take some time, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed up the video a little bit so you guys can see the end result. And this is amazing for dreadlock repair. If I would have known this years ago, I probably would have saved a lot of my dreadlocks from falling out in certain scenarios, not all scenarios. So I'm not going to generalize that statement. And it's really just about repetition and time. And it really does hurt to stab yourself because these needles are actually really thin. So just be careful, because I have bled, you know, doing this. You know, it's really thin needle here. But I'm gonna be a little bit quick on this one, obviously. You know, this is kind of where we're at so far. Like I said, time, you know, sets this kind of where it needs to be. But this gives you an idea. This is a full-blown dread, guys. Now, it's not as thick as far as how it's woven. You know, I can probably pull this apart, you know, pretty easy right now, only because I've only been doing this for a little while, as far as like getting those little hairs together. But I'm gonna go in and wrap up and put these two together just to have a general lock, so you guys can see that it is possible for, you know, your average day guy to just pick up and do this. You know, this would cost you hundreds in the salon, you know, save you some money. There we got the general shape. Now we're just fixing it up. Now, like I said, it doesn't look that good right now. Doesn't look that good right now. And you see I almost cut myself on that one. Doesn't look that good right now, but the longer that you do it, the longer that you rotate it, nicer it'll look. Yeah, so this is gonna be the ones that was gonna take me a little while to kind of even out. But as you see here, you know, the dreads are starting to lock together, you know. So if you guys are wondering how to actually get this to happen, you know, you can actually do this on your own. And this will take you a little bit of time. I would probably say 5 to 10 minutes, probably each actual, you know, locking. You know, some will take longer than others, you know, for obvious reasons. You know, you will have a little bit more of a difficult time putting, you know, smaller end into a longer end, but with a thinner actual size here, it actually can go into these smaller dreads, and then you can pull that in, you see, into the other hairs. Like I said, all repetition. So that's going to be the end of our video. If you guys are wondering how you can do that, like, subscribe, follow. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Have a good day, guys.